All right, well, ladies and gents, welcome aboard to the Captain Crypto Show. Tonight, it's Tuesday, March 27th, 2018, and I'm pretty sure I got the date right for once. Tonight, rounding out the Captain's Council, I'm joined by Chris Groshong, the CEO of Coinstructive, a San Diego-based blockchain tech consultancy company and also the organizer of the San Diego Bitcoin Meetup. And off to my right, I'm joined by Jackson Miller, who you guys probably recognize. I feel like he's probably been on the show more than any other co-host at this point. The only one that's got him beat is the captain himself. But welcome aboard, guys.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's another very busy week in cryptocurrency. And obviously, if you live in the United States, probably the biggest behemoth, let's call it, within cryptocurrency within the United States is Coinbase. For those of you who are not familiar with Coinbase, they are essentially a fiat, so like US dollar, to cryptocurrency exchange. And they are the main onboarding process for, I would say, most Americans. So a lot of people have been looking at them trying to figure out which currencies they are going to allow people to purchase and also to sell. Right now, they support Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum. So recently, they actually made an announcement that they are going to be adding Ethereum-based ERC20 tokens. So this is definitely some big news, especially for those of you who are into Ethereum or for those of you who are into ERC20 tokens. I know there were a lot of people out there who were hoping that Ripple would be the next one added. I mean, everyone wants their coin to be the next one added, especially because they're pretty sure that'll cause it to go up in price. So I'll start off with Chris. What do you think of this news? Are you a fan of ERC20 tokens? Do you like ICOs? And do you think Coinbase is making the right move by having them added next?
Ooh, double-edged sword. I would say there are alternatives already to ERC20 tokens that actually adds like ERC223.
Okay.
Right, which, I mean, that is already at least somewhat better than an ERC20 token in the fact that like you can't send it to a wrong address.
Right.
Right. So I think that, I mean, there's people now who are launching stuff and I'm like, you tell them what's an ERC223 and they're like, what are you talking about? And they have no idea that something else even exists. So I don't know if we're jumping the gun, but I mean, there's not enough crypto fiat pairs anyway. So I don't know what would qualify as a good enough of an ERC20 token to kind of. I see that some problems with how that would actually mess with the market, because if you build an ERC20 token on top of Ethereum, and you have an in and an out channel through Ethereum with fiat, and you only let one or two like ERC20 tokens like essentially also have a fiat channel, then it becomes like a backdoor into Ethereum, right? Where you're just funneling money into Ethereum, then out the back door through Coinbase with this ERC20 token.
And in a way, this is also a win for Ethereum, right? Because if you want to do anything with those tokens, you're going to have some Ethereum to do something with them, either to send them or stimulate some sort of smart contract or something like that, right?
I mean that's the basis of Ethereum, yes. But I mean I see the dollar trigger, the dollar trigger. Like, if you can have more fiat pairs based in Ethereum, essentially, then it's going to add to the market cap of overall Ethereum. Yeah.
Right. So I know Jackson over here is a bit more of a Bitcoin maximalist, but is this a case where you're a little bit happy for the guys over at Ethereum and for some of these ICO? These companies that have launched ICOs, or maybe organizations that have launched their own ERC20 tokens?
Yeah, you hit it on the head. I'm skeptical of ERC20 tokens and just anything that is going to be a security, tokenized security. I just don't think it's a very novel idea. I think that any way that you have security, you're going to end up having to have an enforcement of that security. And that enforcement agency or that enforcement arm is going to start doing things to make their job easier. Because if they just allow anybody to make a security on anything and they have to go and enforce all these deals that anybody's ever made, it's impossible. There's no way they can do it. So the very first thing they're going to do is limit it to only people that they approve can do one of these things, and you just start seeing the exact same system that we currently have for IPOs developing. That being said, maybe they can do it more efficiently. I mean, they've had a monopoly for a long time on how the IPO process has been done, but I don't think it's going to be revolutionary. But going through that announcement that Coinbase put out, I thought there was a couple of interesting things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of unrelated to ERC20. that they just kind of like let us know how the sauce is made. One of the things they said was that the assets that they add to GDAX won't necessarily be moved onto Coinbase.
Right.
So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I actually took some notes because they have, I guess, kind of guidelines for which currencies or tokens they're willing to add next, and they have a lot of guidelines. But some of the ones that I think stood out is it looks like they're leaning toward open source. They're leaning toward things that are more decentralized, and it also seems like they're leaning towards stuff that are utility tokens. So, from what I can tell, it seems like they might shy away from the more security-looking tokens, if that makes sense. And I don't really blame them for that, especially with all the regulations that are kind of just sitting there waiting for law enforcement to pounce. Another thing that they had was that they prefer a project that has a working alpha or beta, so essentially a prototype that's already working. Are there any tokens that you guys know of off the top of your head that you think fit those fits that criteria?
I don't know a lot of those projects, but I feel like Steam kind of hits that mark. I looked into that recently because Robert, one of our other co-hosts, is pretty into that project, so I give it some time a day, and it's not the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, I
It's
like
working.
it. We've started using like DLive as one of the areas, one of the platforms that we are live streaming on, and that is based on Steam. As far as ERC20 tokens are concerned, kind of the one that sticks out to me and to a lot of people is the basic attention token, which in a way I feel like there's a little bit of overlap with Steam. It's kind of a project where they're trying to let content publishers kind of cut out the middleman and find ways for them to get compensated without, with the users directly, rather than there being a middleman and creating all that sort of mess. So I think basic attention token, a lot of people are kind of, they're gossiping about that one. But every time Coinbase talks about adding currencies, I think you see a lot of gossip. So, I'm curious, which which currencies would you guys like to see added next? Because it seems like they swerved people a little bit here, right? And they a lot of people were hoping Ripple, or even some people were hoping for Monero, but I don't see that one happening. So they're doing Ethereum tokens, but do you guys want specific currencies added? Are there some that are at the top of your list?
Well, I think that one of them that they need to add, I'm not sure which one, and I'm not going to be biased, but I think stable coins of some sort as a competitor to Tether definitely needs to be added at some point.
Right.
People still don't know what's going on, and it's the black box that no one's talking about, really.
Right. Is everything so volatile? There's no way to really escape it. I'm kind of curious then, because I've heard different things about, without getting too much into stable coins, how viable do you think it is to build a stable coin? Because I've heard some people say it's like you might as well be searching for, I don't know, Shangri-La.
Yeah, it's the Holy Grail.
It is the Holy Grail, right?
The fountain of youth, yes.
They'll be lucky if they can get partially there.
Do you need a stable coin on Coinbase if you're allowed to trade USD directly?
Well, no. I think that...
But USD's fiat.
That's over the counter, though, so it's slow. So, yeah, you can get in and out if you can execute when you want. But with GDAX, you wouldn't be able to, right? So, you probably wouldn't have USD and ERC20 pairs at that point, I don't think.
You think it'd be easier for them to do a stable coin to ERC20 than it would be USD to ERC20?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Are you enjoying the Captain Crypto Show? We've only been around for about 6 months and creating videos for only about 2 months. But in that short time period, we've been able to take our ragtag crew and start building a fleet to bring you the freshest and most critical information from the new world of cryptocurrency. But we can't do it without your help. If you like our content, consider liking this video, sharing it with some of your closest mateys, and even consider hitting the subscribe button. Although we do include our cryptocurrency addresses in the descriptions for these videos, the truth is, me and my crew prefer not to beg for our coin. After all, plundering is more the pirate's way. So hit that subscribe button and come join us on this adventure.